Buccaneers gave up of 20 yards or more last year. He'll eliminate a lot of those.
And the misnomer about Mark Barron is he's an in-the-box guy. He's a little questionable in coverage. His strength is in coverage. He can match up. He can man up. Running back, tight end, slot guy. He did it in Nick Saban's scheme. 12 career interceptions, former running back in high school. I'll tell you, he can flip his hips. Smooth, athletic kid. Don't think for a minute he's going to be a liability in coverage. That'll be his strength, and he'll also be a guy who'll tackle well. The nickel linebacker, they use him as well in that scheme. This kid is prepared to upgrade a Tampa Bay Buccaneers secondary.
And so the top 7 picks, 2 have come from the national champion Crimson Tide of Alabama. And now the Miami Dolphins, cross-state rival of the Bucs, are on the clock. Will they tab the 3rd quarterback in the draft, Ryan Tannehill? Will this be his time from Texas A&M? He started his career as a wide receiver. Actually played more games there at Texas A&M. His first 30 games he played there, and with some good production. And of course, a year and a half ago became the starting quarterback, started 19 games there. Will this be the chance for Miami to go for a quarterback? Miami also starting anew. Remember, Tony Sparano was fired in the middle of the season. Joe Philbin, who was the offensive coordinator with Aaron Rodgers, a quarterback. Mike McCarthy, head coach of Green Bay, the new head coach. They have David Garrard, who hadn't played for a year. They signed him. They have Matt Moore, who won some games last year. They have him. The Brandon Marshall is gone. Offense and quarterback they need. Is this too high? Should Miami do this? What do you guys think?
Well, I'll say this. I thought Ryan Tannehill, to me, was a late 1, early 2 during the year. I didn't put him in my top 25 till about 3 weeks ago when you knew he was 100% coming back from a foot injury he sustained in January. Moved him to 18. This is top 10 for Miami. But I'll say this. Mike Sherman coached him. Joe Philbin's the quarterback guru, developed Aaron Rodgers and Matt Flynn. If you're a GM, Jeff Ireland, don't you trust Mike Sherman and Joe Philbin to make that call?
You've had 10 offensive coordinators since 2000. They've had about 16 different quarterbacks. Now, Mike Sherman coached Tannehill last year and the year before at Texas A&M. Matt Moore is the current quarterback. So if Tannehill isn't picked here by Miami, that's telling us all something that maybe Tannehill's not ready to be a first-rounder. Miami, I'd be shocked if they don't take a run at Tannehill here, since they have their former coach, Mike Sherman, in place, running an offense that this kid can continue to develop in.
And think about Miami. Since 1983, when they got Dan Marino, I mean, it's been a horror show in terms of the quarterback position in a lot of years. Passed on Matt Ryan, didn't get RG3, didn't get Peyton Manning. Now here's Tannehill sitting there. I think, as John said, this is a red flag moving forward if your old coach passes on you. And think about him. He needs time. Now you got a quarterback in Matt Moore you can sit behind for a year or 2.
We'll see.
With the 8th pick in the 2012 NFL Draft, the Miami Dolphins select Ryan Tannehill, quarterback, Texas A&M.
Three quarterbacks in the top 8 for the first time in the 21st century. It happened in '99 when Couch McNabb and Achilles Smith went 1, 2, 3. So we haven't had to wait very long to wonder if Miami will try to get some answers at that quarterback position. Ryan Tannehill on the orange carpet now for the Dolphins.
Well, you think about Ryan Tannehill, wide receiver in 30 games, quarterback in 19 games. This has never happened. Top 10 pick for a guy who was a position change, and a quarterback, he was a wide receiver while the other guy was playing quarterback, wasn't even drafted. So this is unprecedented this high in the draft for an inexperienced quarterback like Tannehill at the major college level, who also had some struggles against big-time opponents this past year. You say, okay, then why is he a top 10 pick? What did they see, Miami and Ryan Tannehill? First of all, ideal size, strong arm, very athletic, very competitive, and very smart. You watch Ryan Tannehill at Texas A&M, you see his size, his computer numbers, they're of a top 10 pick. I think when you look at the way he threw on the move, when he had to move out of that pocket, did a nice job. Watch him here. Extends the play, accurate throw down the field. I think when you watched him in the games against Oklahoma, Texas, Oklahoma State, 9 interceptions in those games. Game management's an issue. Forces the ball into coverage. Questionable reads. Too many ill-advised throws. What he's got to do, hey, throw the ball away. Don't force the ball. Live the fight another day. I think that's where you talk about running a little hot and cold, leaves you scratching your heads with some of his decisions. Basically needs a lot of work. In Miami, Mike Sherman will develop him. He'll sit behind either Matt Moore or David Garrard. And in a second year, third year, when they think he's ready, then we'll see what Ryan Tannehill has to offer.
Well, just before the draft started, we heard Ryan with Susie Colbert saying, I'm prepared to wait a long time. I'm hoping it's not that long. Now we go back to the Bud Light Blue Room where Susie, he has his answer.
And he was braced for the worst. What was that phone call like?
It was awesome. You know, it was everything I expected and more. You know, such a humbling experience, but yet so exciting at the same time.
You just said hot off the presses, and it's something new they're doing this year. What's it like to see your name on that jersey?
And it takes my breath away. You know, it's to see my name on the back of the NFL jersey in an organization like the Miami Dolphins, I couldn't be more excited.
You had told me a while ago it would be a dream to walk across this stage. What was it like?
Everything I expected, probably more than I expected. You know, just hearing my name called, you know, getting the phone call from the Dolphins, walking across and shaking the commissioner's hand. You know, it's a moment of a lifetime.
Congratulations.
Thank you.
Yeah, Ryan Tannehill is a great kid. He's got a huge upside. And I think we'd agree, Mel, he just needs to tighten up his decision-making. And that's what hurt him this year. He tried to do too much. You said it perfectly. They dropped over 60 passes, Texas A&M. And at times, Tannehill tried to do too much, forcing the football when he got behind and down in distance. And it wasn't just in 1 week. It happened 3 or 4 times. He needs to find a way to play his best football in a 2-minute drill like he did in this situation against Arkansas. And when you go on the road and play against a good football team, usually your quarterback is going to be the guy that has to bail you out. Tannehill didn't get that done a couple times this season like he did at Oklahoma, and I thought he should have stuck this throw in there to the tight end and beat Kansas State. I like this pick by Miami. I really like it because Mike Sherman, Ryan Tannehill continue to work together. They're going to continue to make progress, and Miami needs a quarterback to hit because it's been a long time since Dan Marino last threw a completion.
That's correct. Except in a couple of commercials here and there. Meanwhile, the Carolina Panthers, now I'm not putting on Tannehill that he does what Cam Newton did last year, because nobody has. But we saw a team drafted first overall last year, Cam Newton, and even though they did they upset a lot of top teams? No, they were in so many games, and they were must-see TV with Cam Newton with 4,000 yards and 700 yards rushing the football, and they went 6-10, and now Carolina says, we got some offense. We got Cam Newton, we can run, we got Steve Smith. What about our defense?
With the 9th pick in the 2012 NFL Draft, the Carolina Panthers select Luke Kuechly, linebacker, Boston College.
Well, what about our defense? How about a guy that I think, what was he, within about 12 or 13 tackles in 3 years of playing football, of having the most tackles ever in college football? I mean, that's crazy.
Boom, 532 career tackles. That's amazing. 35 tackles for loss the last 3 years. 7 career interceptions, so you can do it in coverage as well. Tackling machine, read reactability, second to none. A complete middle linebacker, that throwback, that Mike man that you want. Bottom line is, productive in college. Say, well, what are his workout numbers going to be? His workout numbers were reminiscent of Brian Urlacher's when he came out of New Mexico and became a Chicago Bear. 6'3 1/4, got his weight up from about 230 to 242, ran a 4.5 to 27 reps at a 38 vertical. When you combine the production with the great workout, it's easy to see why Luke Kuechly was one of the top 10 players in this draft.
I like the Carolina Panthers getting Kuechly to go with John Beeson who's an outstanding weak side linebacker who was hurt last year. They also get Thomas Davis back. Their linebacking core with Kuechly in the middle is very unique now in the NFC South. Really like Kuechly.
You think about Ron Rivera, linebacker at Cal, linebacker in the NFL with the Bears, and he brings in Luke Kuechly.